All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much. Time now to get over to our kitchen and check in for the first time
Right.
with ABC7 Culinary Director Judi Gallagher. Hi, Judi.
Hi there, Scott. Well, you may not want to run out tonight to get your ingredients for this delicious new modern version of a succotash. You're certainly going to want to pay attention and be able to use it all weekend long. In fact, all summer long. Edamame is the new lima bean, and I really like its flavor. I think the texture is a little better. So I'm going to teach you how to incorporate it with some sweet corn kernels and very good seasoning, some sauteed onions, and feta cheese. We'll make a more modern version based on a cooking light recipe, along with some grilled wild salmon burgers. Just delicious as the weather does dry out later this week. Well, Scott, I have the onion sauteed. About one medium-sized Vidalia onion should do it with a little oil. Now, you can use a high-quality olive oil, but what I also like to use, this is a Mediterranean herb olive oil. You can make it homemade by putting your herbs in and maybe some garlic, but I always keep one of those handy. It really enhances the flavor. So what we want to do now, in a minute, we're going to add some edamame to saute. I bought these wild salmon burgers over at the Fresh Market. Wild salmon is very much in season right now. It's going to run anywhere from $20 to $22 a pound, but it's just loaded with healthy omegas and really good nutrients, and they're fat. It's that really delicious salmon flavor that you're going to get, that wild fat salmon. So something to think about. But what they do is, obviously, they take the smaller pieces left over from marinated wild salmon. This one is a salmon burger that has a little bourbon sauce in it. So often, my mom grew up making canned salmon patties, which I also still love to this day with a can of Rubenstein salmon, but fresh is always better. Also, another option is to get the ahi tuna. They're about $7.99 each. They're frozen, but they're frozen right when they're first caught out to sea. So they're nice and fresh. It's just going to do a lightly sear and really awesome to go with this edamame. So into the onions goes our shelled edamame. And this is probably just an FYI for your doggies. My vet recommends that I feed a little edamame, not this fancy, to my dogs, but Norman sure gets a little bit. Now, I'll be back in a little bit to finish up this dish, and we'll keep you apprised of the weather that's happening outside as well. Hey there, Scott. Took the burgers, the salmon burgers are on the plate ready to go. Now we have the edamame, the corn, and the onions that have been sauteed together gently, and I've added some fresh feta cheese. Don't buy the feta cheese, it's already crumbled. I often say that. It's not going to be as salty and as good as the flavor because the oxygen's already gotten to it, so break it up yourself. Now let's take some organic red and yellow grape tomatoes, some flat leaf parsley, or cilantro. Cilantro is always going to be my choice. I love it. And let's give that a toss. And then simple dressing. Remember, this already had some olive oil in it as we sauteed. So I'm going to do both a little splash of white balsamic vinegar, really something that I love in my cabinet, and just a pinch of sherry wine vinegar. Sherry wine vinegar has more of that tart bite, so I want to keep this a little bit smooth. Then, to just top it off along with the salmon burgers, I don't use a roll because I already have, the corn is going to have some carbohydrate in it, but a little treat are these old Florida sweet potato tortilla chips. I love them. So we have the salmon burgers. Let's put down some edamame, and the greatest thing, this edamame is going to last a couple days. So as the rain lasts, you can just kind of tuck into it with your chips, and it's going to be just so good. And you can always just use it as a topping, whether it's on chicken or the burgers or the tuna, as I mentioned. So you can get this recipe on mysuncoast.com, and we'll be back just to wrap it up and bring you more weather in just a moment. And there we have it, modern version of a feta herb succotash with edamame, the grilled salmon burgers, these awesome Old Florida sweet potato chips. I think you're going to really enjoy it all week long, a recipe to hold on to. Go on mysuncoast.com and click on the recipe and stay with ABC throughout the afternoon on this weather. It's really important. I'm going to send it over to you guys and I'll meet you over there.